Guys, in this video, we will be learning NumPy data types in Python. We will be covering these points: NumPy data types, character representation, creating array with a defined data types, converting data types on existing array, astype function, on what is overflow errors, right? I'm using editor PyCharm, Python version 3.12 is installed on my computer. Okay, so let's get started with the video. What is NumPy data types? So NumPy supports a much greater variety of numerical types than Python does, right? As you know, Python has common data types like str, int, boolean, complex, float. But in NumPy, we have different naming conventions of data types. We have numpy.byte, numpy.ubyte, numpy.short, numpy.ushort, numpy.intc, and so on. We have long list of NumPy data types. Okay, so we'll see our first point of agenda: NumPy data types care representation. Okay, we have to use this representation while creating NumPy array. The first step is to we have to import NumPy library, right? If we have not yet installed NumPy library, then we have to type in one command: pip install NumPy. Okay, so after installing NumPy, we have to import NumPy. NumPy has some extra data types and refer to data types with one character like I for integer, U for unsigned integer, B for boolean, F for float, C for complex float, M for time delta, M for data time, O for object, S for string, U for Unicode string, V for fixed chunk of memory. Okay, these are some character representation, and we can use these characters while creating our numpy array. If you want to know the type of the value you have defined with Python, so how you get I, so you will get to know which type of data it is, right? So it is int, right? But here with numpy library, we have different way of getting data type in numpy. If you have NumPy array with you and you want to get what is the type of the data you have passed on with the array, so np.array. NumPy has a property of dtype so that we could get the name of the data type. This is a property you can use to get the name of the data types with the array, right? If you see, it's a int 32, right? Okay. But here in Python we have int. So NumPy has a different naming conventions with the data types. So these are integer values which you have passed on in the array function, and then you have got the name of the data type, that is int 32. Let's say if we pass string type of values array 2, if you run the program you will get different name, right? But with Python data types we have str. Okay, in NumPy for string we have less than u1. If we change the value, let's say ab and ba, then you will get the different name. It works like this. Okay, so this is very simple way of getting the name of the data type in NumPy. Okay, now, so as you know, we have used array function. So when we use the array function to create array, so this function can take an optional arguments dtype, right? That allow us to define the expected data type of array element, right? So how we can create integer type of value with dtype, right? I am going to define a type for these values as. So what upper S means? It's a string type. If we run the program again, output is this, and data type is S1, right? Okay, this is a different type of data type name. Okay, if you want to specify the size along with the character, you can also do that, right? For I, U, F, upper S and upper U, we can define size as well. How? Integer 4 byte, so it will create 4-byte integer elements, right? So it created. Now the output has got changed. Okay, this is integer 32, right? If we want to make it 2, so it will create 2, right? It converted to int 16, right? So as I said, I, U, F, S and U, we can mention the size also, right? There is a one case if we define some elements in characters, right? Numeric value, right? In the same array. So what would happen if we say dtype I, it's for integer. If we run the program, so it will give you the error, right? Because this is a data type I, which means it's a integer type. Okay, so we cannot club characters because what it is trying to do, it is trying to convert each element into the integer, right? That is why it raised the error, right? If we make it 3, then it will show you the output. It will show you the name of the data type, right? It is int 32. Okay, if we want to make it 4, so it will 4, it will give you 4 or 8, right? So it will give you in 64, right? We can specify size also. Okay, now let's see converting data types on existing arrays, right? And what as type method function does, this function actually creates a copy of the array and allow you to specify the data type as a parameter, right? These are my float values, right? Let's try to print this type, and then what we will do, it's a float 64, right? And we are going to convert this type into different type. Okay, so how? So we are going to create new array, right? Array 4 as type function, and here we are going to specify the character for the type of the value that we are taking I for integer. And if you print the new array, print as a output, right? So we are printing the array, then we are printing the type of the array 4. Okay, that's in the program. So array 4 we have to print it. Yep. So you will see, so we have initially the float type of elements with the array, and then we converted these float elements to the integer with help of as type function, right? Now if I take int instead of character, so the output is same, right? Either you take like this or either you take like this. Okay, right? Okay, these are same thing. If you want to convert your integer value to the boolean, so you can do it, right? Let me take 1 as a boolean value so that we can convert it. Instead of I or int, we can take 6, and then I'm going to take bool, it will convert. And if you print 6 array, so it will show you the boolean values, right? If you see, we have now converted this object, array object. This is a type of array 6 that is converted to bool, and the value of these are true. Okay, 7, run it, so it will give you 2 2 true. Okay, if you want to define your data type in a different way, instead of like this, you can do even array 7 now, and instead of the type this, I can take int 64, right? So this can also be used, right? If you want to create your array object like np dot, if you want to use your int, this built-in function, and then you want to define your integer value, so it will give you the same thing, right? Array 8, then print array 8. So it will give you the same thing, right? If you want to get the data type of this, so it will show you, it would be a integer 32, right? This is for integer 32. We have multiple NumPy data types. If you type in like np dot, so you will see int we have seen, float we have seen, complex, character array, right? Okay, now let's see what is overflow errors. The fixed size of NumPy numeric types may cause overflow errors, right? Overflow means you are getting a bigger value at runtime, so it may cause overflow errors, right? That would be requiring more memory. So in this case, we have to be very careful about defining the data types in NumPy, because it will not give you the overflow error, even it will give you the wrong value. Okay, let's say if I'm going to use a one power function, okay, so that is built in there, and I'm going to create a power of 100 with this specific number, The D type would be, let's say, np dot maybe integers int 64. So it will create the power, right, for this, because the size is sufficient for this one. If you run the program, so the size is sufficient, right? So it created the power of 100 with this number. Okay, let's say if we are going to define a less data type in terms of size, instead of int 64 we are specifying in 32. This is my different variable, and if we print it, so it will give you the different output. Okay, it will not give you the correct value. Okay, you see the value is not correct because when it generates the power of this number with this, so actually it did not get sufficient memory. Okay, so it gives us the wrong value, right? So we have to be very careful. We have to be very specific with the data types. Okay, so this type of scenarios always comes under overflows. Even if you are going beyond int 64 also, okay, so it will not give you the exact value. It will not give you the correct value. It will give you the wrong value. You see, it gave you 0. Okay, we have seen NumPy data types character representation. There are multiple character representations so that you can create different type of array in NumPy. We have seen how to create arrays with defined data types. We have seen how we can convert from different type to the another type with the help of astype function, and we have seen overflows error, right, which we have to be very careful while taking data types for the value which is going to be bigger at the runtime. Okay, that brings us to the end of the today's video. We hope you found it informative and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on all things tech related. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.